Today we are going to discuss about grievous hurt, which is an important short topic in forensic. So grievous hurt, it comes under section 320 IPC. It is defined as a hurt of a more serious in nature. There are other injuries also like simple injuries, but now we are focusing only on grievous hurt. So to make out the offense of a voluntarily causing grievous hurt, there must be some specific hurt and which should be inflicted voluntarily. And also, those injuries should come under any of the 8 kinds of injuries that we are going to discuss. Okay, so these are the 8 different kinds of injuries which is considered as grievous hurt. So the first one is emasculation, then permanent privation of sight of either eye, permanent privation of hearing of either ear, privation of any member or joint, destruction or permanent impairing of the power of any member or joint, permanent disfiguration of the head or face, fracture or dislocation of a bone or tooth, and the last one, any hurt which endangers life or which causes the victim to be in severe bodily pain or unable to follow his ordinary pursuits for a period of 20 days. So, these are the 8 different kinds of injuries which is considered as grievous hurt. It means masculine figure. That means the manliness is lost. For example, injuries like amputation of the penis, injuries to the genitals, or fracture of pelvis, or fracture of spine at the level of L4 and L5, and there should be injury to the sacral segments of the spinal cord. So, all these can result in impotence. Okay, so these are the different types of injuries which can lead to the loss of manliness. And also, if testes are removed before puberty, impotence is permanent. Okay, so impotence is permanent means that secondary sexual characters do not develop if testes are removed before puberty. If testes are removed after puberty, potency is usually retained. That means erection or ejaculation is possible, but fertility is lost. Okay, that is in the case of testes are removed after puberty. Okay, next one is permanent privation of sight of either eye. So the gravity of this injury lies in its permanency. Okay, and this type of injuries leading to functional disability or causing disfigurement is considered as grievous hurt. For example, poking of eyes or throwing chemicals into eyes, which can lead to the loss of vision or disfigurement. So all this comes under grievous hurt. And also note that here the permanent doesn't mean that the condition is incurable. Okay, for example, if loss of sight is due to corneal opacity, that can be corrected by corneoplasty later, but legally it still counts as grievous hurt. Okay, that's all about permanent privation of sight of either eye. Next one is permanent privation of the hearing of either ear. So this is also same as eye. It means that the permanent loss of hearing in either ear. Okay, the person is deprived of the sense of hearing, leading to disability. That means loss of hearing due to that injury. And also the gravity lies in the permanent nature of the injury. For example, the injury is caused by blow on the head or a blow on ear or a blow that can cause injury to the tympanum or auditory nerves, or pouring hot water or any other hot liquids into the air. So all these type of injuries can lead to the loss of hearing. That's all about permanent privation of the hearing of either ear. Next one is privation of any member or joint. Here, the member means that an organ or limb being a part of a man which is capable of performing a distinct function. Okay, like eyes, ears, nose, which is capable of performing a specific function. So any injuries to these organs is classified as grievous hurt. For example, if the joint becomes permanently stiff so that the normal function is not possible, it is a grievous injury. Okay, so that's all about privation of any member or joint. Next one is destruction or permanent impairing of the powers of any member or joint. So here, the permanent impairment means that irreversible loss or marked reduction of its function. Their destruction or impairment causes lifelong disability of that person. Okay, that injury leads to the lifelong disability of that person, so that the quality of life of that person is reduced. The persons or the victim may become defenseless and dependent on other people. Okay, which means that his quality of life is reduced due to that specific injury. Then it is considered as grievous hurt. For example, injuries like burns can lead to stricture due to burns, or corrosive or damage to tendons due to blunt or sharp force injuries. So that's all about destruction or permanent impairing of the powers of any member or joint. Next one is permanent disfiguration of the head or face. Here, disfigure means to cause some external injuries which detracts from his personal appearance. Okay, and also these injuries, it is not necessary that it affect the strength or function of that specific part or body. Okay, the thing is that if the injury cause what some difference in the personal appearance or cause some disfigurement in the face or head, for example, cutting of a man's nose or ears. So, cutting of a man's nose or ears, it doesn't affect its function. It causes disfigurement only. Still, it counts as grievous hurt. Then another example is burning of face, which result in permanent scars. So, this is a statement already. A cut on the bridge of the nose of a girl caused by a sharp weapon like razor or knife have been held to be permanent disfigurement, even though the internal wall separating the nostrils was intact. Okay, so in this case, it means that the injury is not necessary to affect the function of the part, but the thing is that the injury result in some disfigurement. Okay, next one is fracture or dislocation of a bone or tooth. So here fracture means any break or crack or fissure or splintering of a bone even if the fracture is incomplete. And dislocation means that displacement of a bone from its original joint position or the displacement of a tooth from its socket. In this case, doctor has to prove that the tooth was previously healthy and became dislocated or fractured due to that specific injury. Okay, and also the both the outer and inner layer of the skull, if broken, are considered as fractures. And a simple scratch or superficial cut, which is not extending into the bone, is not considered as a fracture. And also, it is not necessary for a bone to be cut through and through or fragment displaced. That's all about fracture or dislocation of a bone or tooth. And the last one is any hurt which endangers the life or which causes the victim to be in severe bodily pain or unable to follow his ordinary pursuits for a period of 20 days. So this is a clause which includes some three types of injuries, okay, which is not covered by the previous seven categories that we already discussed. For example, a beating of a person may not mutilate the sufferer or fracture his bones, okay, but it can be so cruel that it may bring him to the point of death. Okay, and under this clause, there are three different types of hurts are included. First one is any hurt which endangers the life, or any hurt which causes the victim to be in severe bodily pain for a period of 20 days, or any hurt which prevents the victim from following his ordinary pursuits for a period of 20 days. So these are the three types of injuries which are included under the eighth clause. So let's discuss one by one. The first one is any hurt which endangers the life. So an injury is said to endangers a person's life if it is so serious that it may put the life of the injured person in imminent danger. Okay, here the doctor has to prove, or the doctor must not say that the injury is dangerous. He must describe the type of injury, the site of injury, and the weapon used. Okay, everything has to be clearly explained by the doctor. And also, injuring a vital part is not enough. And also, minor injuries to the vital parts is also not considered as grievous hurt. The injury must be so severe that it is enough to threaten the life of a person. Then only it is considered as a grievous hurt. For example, administration of a drug to cause unconsciousness is not a grievous hurt unless the dose actually endangers the life. Okay, I hope you understood. I already told you about this. The doctor must not say that injury is dangerous to life. The nature and extent of injury, weapon used, body part involved, everything has to be clearly explained by the doctor. And so these are the some examples of injuries which can endanger the life of a person, like stab wound to abdomen or chest, incised wound of the neck, or squeezing of the testicles, which can result in shock and death. Okay, that's all about the first type of injury. The second one is any hurt which causes the victim to be in severe bodily pain. So, if an injury, it means that if an injury makes a person to suffer continuous intense pain for at least a period of 20 days, then only it is considered as grievous hurt. That period is specific. The person should be in severe bodily pain for a period of 20 days. For example, like deep burns with prolonged pain, large infected wounds, etc. Next one is any hurt causing inability to follow ordinary pursuits for a period of 20 days. So here it means that any injury which causes the person unable to follow his daily routine activities for a period of 20 days, then it is considered as a grievous injury. And for the doctor, it is easier to prove than the severe pain we already discussed above, because here the doctors can certify the disability of the person. Okay, example like fractured limb or deep wounds prevent him from walking and following his daily routine activities. And also note that a hospital stay for a period of 20 days is not considered as grievous hurt. Okay, the patient or the victim should be in severe pain, or he should have some disability which prevents him from his performing his daily routine activities for a period of 20 days. Then only it is considered as a grievous hurt. Okay, and this has to be proved by the doctor also. Okay, so these are the three clause which included under the eighth clause. Okay, eighth one, that is any hurt which endangers life, or any hurt which causes the victim to be in severe bodily pain, or any hurt causing inability to follow ordinary pursuits for a period of 20 days. So that's all about grievous hurt. Thank you.